You have already paid for at least 3 of these side hustles without even realizing it. When you bought the ad on Instagram, someone else ran it. When your favorite YouTuber posted 3 clips in a day, someone else edited them. When a company replied to your comment, that wasn't the CEO, that was the ghostwriter. And here's the fun part. All those behind the scenes people started exactly where you are. I'm about to show you 7 behind the scenes hustle, the ones that keep the online world running. Each one solves a real problem, takes real skills, and pays real money. You won't need followers, funding, or a business plan, just curiosity and consistency. These 7 are not random. You stack them. One unlocks the next. That's how you stop chasing clients and start being the person every client fight to keep. By the end, you will see how these turn into a full stack growth engine you can build from anywhere. Alright, before we dive in, grab your phone real quick. Open your most used apps. Now ask yourself, which one of these do I understand better than most people? Write down one tiny way you could help someone use that app better. That right there is your first off. Not in your head, actually write it. See, you already had a skill. You just hadn't priced it yet. I know that sounds small, but this is exactly how real businesses start. I have built and exited multi-million-dollar business in retail, fitness, and education. So if you want the real playbook, not the pretend guru stuff, hit subscribe and let's build it together. Let's start with something every business desperately needs: local SEO and reputation management. Most people think SEO means complicated websites or ads. It doesn't. It simply means helping local businesses show up when someone nearby searches on Google. If a customer can find you in 3 seconds, they'll buy from the first result that loads. Picture this: a new restaurant opens. You spend $10,000 in decor, but when someone types best tacos near me, it doesn't even appear on the map. That's not a food problem, that's a visibility problem. And visibility is everything. You could have the best food, the cleanest gym, the friendliest salon, but if Google thinks you don't exist, neither do your customers. Now here's where you come in. You help small businesses get found. You claim their Google business profile, add photos, correct hours, fix reviews, and make sure they show up in the top 3 results. That one fix can double their walk-in traffic. I've seen local gym go from 200 visits a month to over 500 just by getting its profile optimized and collecting 55-star reviews. Here's the best part. It's not hard to sell. Every owner already knows they need customers. You're not convincing them of a dream. You're fixing an obvious lead. And your offer couldn't be simpler than this. You tell a business owner, I'll make sure people actually find when they search. That's it. You set everything up: listings, keywords, photos, review templates, and charge $500 to $1,000 for that setup. Now, let's talk real numbers for a second. 2 clients at $500 setup and $300 a month brings in about $4,600 over 6 months. Add just 8 more clients and you already passed $23,000, all from part-time work that can easily scale into a business. Once you start managing over 10 clients, you can bring someone in to handle the reviews while you focus on new customers. One of my daughter's friend making over $15,000 a month by just doing this. And the best part about this business, it stays strong even when the economy dips. When things slow down, local businesses fight harder for visibility, and that's exactly what you're helping them with. If I'm being honest, I would put this around a 4 out of 10 on difficulty level. It's mostly patience and attention to detail. You just need to pick up the basics fast. Most people get comfortable in just a week watching a few tutorials. And all you really need are 3 free tools: Google Business Profile, Canva for images, and ChatGPT to help write better review replies. Later, if you want to upgrade, Bright Local or Moz Local run about $30 a month and make tracking results easier. Here's the action step today. Search best gyms or best coffee shops near me. If a local business shows up with fewer than 30 reviews or incomplete photos, write their names down. That's a potential client. Shoot them a quick message that says, hey owner, I help local businesses get more customers by optimizing their Google business profile and building strong reviews. I can show you what you're actually missing. Do you want a free audit? That message takes 60 seconds to send, and it could be the start of your first paying client. You can find this message in the description below. Now that you have seen how powerful a single online profile can be, let's move to something that builds a deeper connection, not just visibility, but loyalty. Because once a business shows up online, the next question every owner asks is, how do I keep those customers coming back? And that's where you become the voice that keeps the relationship alive with simple newsletters that people actually enjoy opening. You know, those newsletters that actually feel good to read, like they were written by a human, not a marketing robot. Yeah, someone's getting paid to make those. Most founders know they should be emailing their audience, but they don't have time to write. They'll post all day on Instagram, but ghost their own email list for months. That silence costs them sales, and that's where you step in. You become their behind-the-scenes writer. You take their voice, their stories, and turn it into a short weekly email that keeps their audience connected. Let's say you're working with a fitness coach. You send out one email every week. Quick story, one photo, one takeaway. People stay engaged, old clients come back, and new ones join. That one little email becomes the heartbeat of the business. Now, here is how it adds up. Most newsletter clients pay between $800 and $1,500 a month, depending on how much you handle. Writing, design, and analytics. 2 clients alone put you around $10,000 in 6 months. Add 2 more, and you're looking at $20,000, and that's part-time. Once your templates and workflow are dialed in, that's when it starts feeling less like a side hustle and more like a real business. Now that you have built a system that works, you can bring on a writer to draft, a designer to polish, and you stay focused on strategy and relationships. That's exactly how small teams scale this to $25,000 a month and beyond. Learning this doesn't take long either. Trust me, give yourself a week. Read 20 good newsletters, pay attention to what keeps you reading, and practice writing them in your own words until it feels natural. If I had to rate the difficulty level, I would call this mid-level hustle maybe a 5 out of 10, because it's not about being a great writer, it's about sounding human and staying consistent. You only need few tools like Beehive or Kit to send emails, Canva for visuals, and Google Docs for writing. Once you have got income coming in, you can add automations or analytics upgrades, but your first 2 clients can run entirely free. Now, if you want to start today, don't go chasing around clients. Just look around. Think about a local business or a small creator who you already follow, who's posting great stuff but never emails their audience. That's your first pitch. Reach out and say something like, "Hey owner, your posts are great. Have you ever thought about turning them into a simple weekly newsletter? I can help you build one that actually makes people look forward to hearing from you." That's it. Simple, helpful, no pressure. And just like that, you have got a skill that pays monthly, builds relationship, and can grow as big as you want. Now you're helping a business stay connected with customers. But attention is a fragile thing because newsletters keep people engaged, but they don't bring new people through the door. Businesses still need someone to help them show where everyone already spends their time. So you step in to turn the social media management and small ad campaigns, keeping them visible, active, and constantly meeting new customers. Every business wants to look active online, but most of them don't. Scroll through Instagram and you will see a cafe that hasn't posted in months, a real estate agent sharing random stock photo, or a gym stuck on the same New Year, New Me post since January. That silence caused them visibility, and that's where you come in. You become their online presence. You post consistently, reply to comments, handle DMs, and run small targeted ad campaigns that actually bring new people through the door. Let's see how the numbers look for the side hustle. Most small businesses pay anywhere from $800 to $2,500 a month for consistent posting, engagement, and ad management. And the best part, you don't need a fancy office or a team to get started. Handle just 3 clients at $1,000 each and you're sitting at $18,000 over 16 months. Add a few more and suddenly you have built something steady and predictable income from work that grows in value every month. That's exactly how most social media agencies are born. One person posting a few local brands, then bring on help for design or ad setup. Before long, they're managing 20 clients and pulling in $15,000 to $30,000 a month. And here's what most people miss. When sales slow down, businesses don't go quiet. They post more. Visibility becomes survival. And that's where you come in. If I had to rate the learning curve, I would call it a 5 out of 10. Not hard, just demanding. The real challenge is not figuring it out. It's showing up every week with fresh ideas. You can pick up the basics in a week, watch a few YouTube tutorials, post on your page, and run a tiny $10 ad just to see how it works. Once you have done that, you'll know enough to take on your first client with confidence. And tool-wise, you can keep it simple. Start with Canva to create content and Meta Business Suite to schedule or boost posts. That's honestly all you need in the beginning. Later, when you're juggling a few clients, upgrade to something like Metricool or Buffer to make it easier to manage everything in one place. So here's the move for today. Pick 3 local businesses, restaurants, salons, or gyms, and check their social pages. If they haven't posted in over a month or the engagement is low, that's your opening. You need to message them and say, "Hey owner, I noticed your business hasn't been active on social media lately. I help local brands stay visible and run small ad campaigns and bring real customers in. Want me to show you what that could look like for you?" That's it. Keep it simple, keep it helpful. You're not selling, you're offering oxygen. Here's the twist. Once you have mastered helping local businesses grow, you'll notice another type of client with the exact same struggles. They're not brick and mortar shops. They're creators, coaches, and solo founders running their entire business from their laptops. And while local owners struggle to stay visible, these people struggle to stay organized. Their calendars are packed, inboxes overflowing, brand deals slipping through the cracks. So you become their executive operations for creators. The person who keeps everything from falling apart and makes their creativity run like a business. You know what's funny? After managing social media for a while, you start to realize something. Content creators aren't just posting for fun anymore. They're running actual businesses, and every one of them has the same problem. They're buried under chaos. You become the right-hand person who keeps the creative world from falling apart, organizing calendars, managing partnerships, tracking deliverables, and keeping projects moving. Basically, you turn the creativity into consistency, and that's what makes you invaluable. And this is not some virtual assistant gig that pays $10 an hour. You're the backbone of their operation, someone who understands both the creative and the business side. Now let's talk about what this actually pays. Most creators will gladly spend $1,500 to $2,500 a month on someone who keeps their business running smoothly. 2 clients at that rate, you're already sitting near $18,000 over 6 months. All while working with people who are growing fast and constantly need support. And once you have got your system down, that's when this turns into something much bigger. You can bring in other assistants to handle scheduling or outreach and manage an entire roster of creators yourself. One of my old friends scaled this exact model into $14,000 a month just by building small, reliable teams under them. And here's the thing, when budgets get tight, creators might let go of their editors or ad buyers first. But the person who keeps everything organized, they're the last one standing. This hustle is not plug and play, but it's far from complex. Call it a 6 out of 10, not because it's hard to learn, but because it demands calm under pressure. You're the person who brings order when everything else feels messy. The good news is you can get comfortable in about a week. You spend a few days studying how creators actually work, their upload schedules, sponsorship timelines, and the back and forth that happens with brands. Once you understand the rhythm, the rest is just system and communication. And tool-wise, you don't need much to start. Google Calendar to manage your time, and Notion or ClickUp to organize projects. Later, when you're juggling more than one client, you can level up to Motion or Airtable to keep everything running like clockwork. I want you to try something simple today. Go to YouTube or Instagram and find 2 creators with 10 to 50,000 followers. Watch the content for a few minutes. Notice how busy they look. Then check their comments. Half of them are brand offers or collabs waiting to be managed. Open the conversation with something like, "Hey creator, I love your content. I noticed you handling a lot between videos, collabs, and brand deals. I help creators stay organized, manage partnerships, and keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes. Want me to show you how it could help?" That's it. Keep it friendly, keep it human. Because creators don't want more noise. They want clarity. And if you give them that, they'll never want to work without you again. And by the way, if you're paying attention, you might have started seeing the pattern. The first 4 hustles weren't random. They're connected. You helped a local business get found, then helped them stay visible. And now you're learning how to actually convert that attention into growth. What you're building here isn't just a collection of skills. It's a toolkit that works together. When you stack them, visibility, content, and communication, you stop being a freelancer and start becoming a system every small business wishes they had. That's what I call a full stack growth engine, and we're only halfway through building it. Quick check-in. Which of these hustles would you start first? And who would you pitch? Comment both. I'll reply to the top ones. You know what's wild? When you work behind the scenes with creators, you start noticing something. They're sitting on a gold mine they don't even see. They'll spend hours scripting, filming, and editing a single 10-minute video and then post it once. That's it. 10 minutes of content that could have become 20 clips, 10 posts, and an entire week of visibility wasted. That's where you step in, running their content repurposing system, turning one video, one podcast, or one post into one entire week of content. Your job is simple. Take one long piece of content, chop it into smaller ones, and make it reach new audience. That YouTube video, turn into shorts, reels, and TikToks. That podcast episode, turn into code cards and threads. You're not just editing, you're multiplying visibility. So how does the numbers look for this one? Most creators will happily pay $800 to $1,500 a month for someone who can turn one video into an entire content library. Sometimes even more if you handle posting and scheduling too. With 3 steady clients, you're sitting around $12,000 in 6 months. Add a couple of more and you have crossed $20,000 doing creative work that keeps multiplying with every clip you make. And once you have built your rhythm, it's easy to scale. You can bring in editors to cut clips, designer for thumbnails, and someone to handle uploads while you focus on strategy and client growth. I've seen small repurposing teams hit $30,000 a month just from turning long videos into endless short form content. Best part, this one actually thrives when others panic. When ad budgets tighten, creators stop spending on new campaigns, but they still need to stay visible. Repurposing what they already have becomes the smartest move in the room. Think of it as a balanced hustle. Not too easy, not too tough. Maybe a 5 out of 10. It's creative work, but once you find your rhythm, it starts to feel more like a routine than a challenge. Give yourself a week to get comfortable. Cut up clips from your favorite creators, test a few styles, and pay attention to what hooks or captions make you stop scrolling. You'll start spotting the pattern that actually works. And honestly, you don't need a fancy setup to start. Your phone and a couple of free tools like CapCut or DaVinci Resolve for editing, and Canva for adding titles or thumbnails. Once you have got clients rolling in, that's when you upgrade to something like Descript or Premiere Pro. But in the beginning, keep it simple. Skills matter way more than software. Let's make this practical. Here's the first step. Find one creator you already follow. Maybe someone who posts YouTube videos but barely any shorts. Download one of their clips, edit into a 30-second version, and send it back with a simple message. Hey creator, I really like your last video. I made a short version of it just to show you what it could look like as a reel or TikTok. Do you want me to help you repurpose more of these each week? No pressure, no pitch, just proof. And once they see it, they'll realize what you already know. Attention doesn't come from creating more. It comes from using what you already have better. Once you have helped creators repurpose their content, something interesting happens. They start to grow. Views go up, followers increase, and then they hit a wall. Their content's getting better, but their branding isn't. Their banner looks old, their thumbnails don't match, and their YouTube channels feels like 10 different people made it. That's when brand design finally matters. Because the content grew, but the identity didn't. This isn't about logo and color palettes. It's about helping creators look like a brand people trust. You design the banner, thumbnails, and screens, and template so everything feels cohesive and professional. It's what separates hobby channels from real brands. Let's get into the math for a second. A full package can run anywhere from $400 to $4,000 depending on what's included. Banners, thumbnails, end screen, template, the whole setup. And even if you start small, just 5 clients at the lower end puts you close to $10,000 in 6 months. But here's the cool part. You're not just designing something pretty. You're helping creators build an identity that keeps working long after you're done. And that's when it starts turning from a one-off gig into a real business. Once you have built a few solid designs, you can start offering brand systems, ready-made templates, thumbnail packs, even full channel audits. There are people out there who started out doing this solo, then built entire creative studios earning $25,000 a month just from YouTube branding. I would label it comfortable challenge territory, about 4 out of 10 in difficulty level. Mostly creative thinking and attention to detail. Once you get the hang of visual consistency, colors, fonts, layouts, it starts to click. And the funny thing, this kind of work actually thrives when the market slows down, because when others panic and pull back, the smart creators double down on their brand image. To get started, you don't need a fancy setup, just your laptop and a couple of free tools. I would open Canva for quick mockups and Figma for layouts. Both are simple, drag and drop, and more than enough to make your first few designs look professional. Once you've got a few paying clients, then think about adding Photoshop or Illustrator. Not because you need them to start, but because your price will justify the upgrade. And honestly, you can learn everything you need in about a week. Here's what I would do. Pick 20 of your favorite YouTubers and study their channels. Look at how their banners line up, how the fonts and colors match across thumbnails, how everything just feels. Then try rebuilding a few of those from scratch. You will learn more by recreating great design than you ever will watching another top 10 branding tips tutorial. Let's put this into motion, starting right now. Pick one of your favorite YouTubers who has great videos but weak visuals. Create a quick redesign for their banner or thumbnail using Canva and slide into their inbox with this line. Hey creator, I love your channel. I noticed your banner and your thumbnails could use a refresh to match your content's quality. I mocked up an example to show you what I mean. Want me to create a few more options? Boom! It's simple, visual, and powerful. Because when someone sees the difference, they don't need a pitch. They just need a price. Once the brand looks sharp, the questions shift to reach. What good is a polished presence if nobody ever sees it? That's when you run their LinkedIn or X growth engine, turning quiet profiles into places where opportunities show up daily. This one isn't about posting random quotes or pretty pictures. It's about building influence, helping professionals, founders, and consultants grow their audience, get leads, and build credibility through content. You're not just posting quotes or pictures, you're ghostwriting posts, engaging in real conversations, and turning their profiles into lead generation machines. Time to see what kind of money we're talking about. Most clients pay anywhere from $800 to $2,000 a month for consistent growth and engagement, and the best part is you're managing words, not warehouses. Even with just 3 clients, you're already near $15,000 in 6 months. Add a couple more and suddenly you're past $25,000, all from building conversations and relationships online. And that's usually where people realize this isn't just a side hustle, it's a full-blown business. You start solo, learn the voice of each client, then as things grow, you bring in a ghostwriter, maybe someone to handle engagement or analytics. Before long, you're running a lean little agency helping founders and professionals grow their personal brands. I have a good friend of mine in Dubai who started this from scratch and now pulled in $40,000 a month with nothing but laptop and good storytelling. And here's what's wild. When everyone else panics and pulls back, this kind of work becomes even more valuable. Because when companies cut ad budgets, they still need visibility, and that's exactly what you give them. If you're willing to put in a weekend or two, call it a 6 out of 10 in difficulty level. Not because it's technically hard, but because it takes curiosity, consistency, and the ability to sound human in a world full of automation. Give yourself about a week to learn the flow. Spend time scrolling through the top voices in your niche. Notice how they start their posts, how they comment on others, how their profiles feel alive even when they're not online. You start to pick up the rhythm, that mix of timing, tone, and personality that makes people stop scrolling. And once you have got the rhythm, it's really just consistency, showing up every day and building trust one post at a time. To get started, you don't need fancy gear or complicated software. Just your phone and a couple of free tools. Open LinkedIn or X obviously, and use Google Docs or Notion to jot down ideas, plan posts, and keep track of what's resonating. That's really all you need in the beginning. Once you have got a few clients and some rhythm, then you can move up to Taplio or Typefully. They make scheduling and analytics way easier, but don't rush it. Here's how you turn this insight into progress today. Find 5 professionals on LinkedIn or Twitter who post inconsistently. People with solid businesses but low engagement. Then here's how I would start the conversation with them. Hey John, I really like what you're building. I noticed you're not posting consistently, and I help founders turn their profile into lead generating systems. Writing posts, engaging daily, and tracking growth. Want to see how that could look for you? That's it. Keep it personal, keep it value first. You're not offering posts, you're offering visibility and opportunity. And once you help someone grow their online presence, you'll realize in this new economy, attention is the most valuable currency there is. Here's the next move. You have got 7 real ways to earn, and you have seen how they stack into a full stack growth engine. Don't try all 7, pick one. Master it for a week or 2, land your first client, then stack from there. But here's the truth. Making money is one thing. Keeping it is another thing. So before you take your first client, watch this next video called 7 habits you should avoid if you want to be rich. Because the last thing I want is for you to make money from these skills and then lose it just as fast. Let's lock in the habits that keep you wealthy. Drop a comment, which hustle are you starting? And who's the first business or creator you'll help? I'll be reading all comments and will give you feedback. The sample DMs and scripts we use today are in the description. Copy, tweak, and send. This is Grit Behind Growth, where we build real businesses with grit, not gimmicks. Let's build something real together.